Okay, today we're going to look at the All Events page and some of the improvements that have been made here that you're going to start to see on the calendar and the dispatch pages as well. We're going to kind of look at three different areas of this: the page itself and a bunch of little improvements that have gone into that, the event detail view when you click into an event, and then we'll take a look at what this looks like on mobile and some of the improvements that have been made there. So first, let's just go through everything on this page. We have all of our events listed here, and it's familiar in that it's a table with all the columns of data, but there have been a lot of little improvements in how you can work with this, even though it's going to feel familiar for the most part. So first, we have our date range up here. By default, this page will load all of your events, but once you select a date range, whether it's a day, a week, or a month, you're going to see that view every time you come back to this page unless you update it again. So I'm looking at today, and now I see all of my events for today, but from here I can really quickly filter it down by any of the data on the events, any of the information that's going to be available to see here. I can also filter it. So let's just filter down to the events that I have tracked time on. Now I can see that I have 5 events that have time tracked on them. And it's really easy to see the comparison of how much time was tracked versus the budgeted hours for that event, and which ones have gone over and which ones are still in progress. So this makes it really easy to see at a glance kind of the balance of expected budgeted hours to what people have actually worked on. And you'll be able to see this soon in other places in the CRM. So filtering is all here. There are all the different ways we can filter by, whether it's customer. We can now search for our customer and filter by that. And we're going to see events for just a single customer, which can be really valuable if you want to see this over time. So if I go to all events, now I can see everything for this customer over time. Let's go back to just today's view. Now, in addition to filtering, you can still search your events, whether it's by customer name or the name of the event, or even the name of the line items that are on the event. Now, once we get into the page here, there are a lot of little improvements across the board that you'll see right off the bat. So first you have your status. Status can now be set and changed directly from the table. Or if you want to select over here, you can change the status. And it's the same for setting the status of multiple events if you want to do it as a bulk action. So anywhere you see the status of an event on this page, you're going to be able to set it and change it as needed. You can also see all of the information about the recurring series if it's a recurring event by just clicking on the frequency. This will tell you the series name, if it's active, how many events have happened in that series. So for this one, I can see this is the 3rd event out of 11, and 2 of them have been closed already. It's expected to end on September 17th. Now, as I go across, I can see the crew that's assigned, the customer. If I want to see where the property is, I can click to go see that on the map. We've seen the budgeted hours and track time. And now we have a tags column as well, where you can see all of the tags for this event directly in the table. Now, once I click into an event, this is where I can see all of the details of it. Let's take a look at this one that's being worked on right now. I can see the customer, the information. I can assign the crew directly from within the event. I can view any visit or dispatch or property notes, as well as the items and services and custom fields. So this is the view that you're familiar with when you look into an event, but it's much more cleaned up and streamlined so that you can get all your information easily right here. Then next, I showed this a little bit, but when you select multiple events, you can select multiple by shift clicking to select down the rows. And then from here, in addition to being able to change the status, I can unassign or assign these, reschedule them, or duplicate, print, export, and delete. So that can be done for a bulk selection of events here, or you can always do that for an individual event here as well. Now we still have our column configurations, so you'll be able to show and hide which columns are important to you. If there are some that are just taking up space, you can get those out of the way. And coming soon, you'll also be able to reorder these columns so that they can be in the specific order that you want them to, with the most important ones where you need them. Lastly, down here, you can see that we have the total budgeted hours and tracked time for this view that we're looking at, which gives you a really nice quick reporting and comparison when you're looking within a certain set of events. Now I'm going to go through and just show a couple of my little details that are my personal favorite for some of the stuff that's on this page. First, when you're looking at an event, we have the up-down arrows that will bring you to the next and the previous event in the list. But you can also use the up-down arrow keys to navigate between your events and then just hit escape to close that when you're done. So that makes it super simple to just go down the list and check event by event everything that you need to see. Another one here is the crew assignment or the employee assignment. Whenever you see the crew or the employee right here, there's an add button. And this consolidates the assigning. Instead of having to pick a crew or an employee, it makes it a lot easier to see all your crews and all your employees together. And you can see if I select a crew, it automatically selects the employees that are in that crew. So this is the same thing that has happened today, but now we have this really convenient dropdown that makes it easy to go between a crew or to just select individual employees if you want to assign by the employee. Now, once you have something assigned, you can just as easily unassign it by clearing your selection and saying unassign. Lastly, if you're familiar with visit forms on Fieldforce, now we have them here as well, where it shows really conveniently if this form has been filled or not. And you'll be able to see just from this page which one of them have been complete. So those are a few of the details that I really like about this page. Once we look at it on mobile, there's a whole nother set of little details that are going to really help make this easier to use. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so here we are looking at the same page on mobile. You can see that we still have our date range selection, and up top, we now have some view options for what we actually want to see in this list. So we can turn on or off as many of the items as we actually want to see in this list and what's going to be helpful for us. And you can see now that these list items only show the information we need. Now, if we do want to do search and filtering on this page, we still have those options, but they're down here at the bottom, just a tap away from your thumb. So we can go ahead and we can add the same filters that we're able to add on the desktop. We can see if anyone is on site right now. There's one event with someone on site. Or we can do any of the other type of filtering that we need, as well as being able to search for specific events. Now, if you still want to select multiple events in this view, we can do that by going to the select mode. And then I just tap the events that I want to select, and I can do all of those same bulk actions, changing status, assigning, or rescheduling that I can do on the desktop. Once I click into an event, I'm going to get that same view of the event with all the details for it. And I can still start work or upload media as I would be able to on the desktop. So this view is really streamlined in that you can customize it the way you want, and you can still quickly get to the filtering, search, and event details. There's a lot fewer page reloads, a lot less colliding items on the page that are taking up space. And it keeps it focused to just the events itself, while still giving you all the tools you need to be able to make this page useful. So that's it for the all events page. A lot of the things you see here, you're going to start seeing on the dispatch board and on the schedule, as well as a whole lot of other improvements to how you're able to work with events. You're going to start seeing the important details. You're going to see options on how to customize your views, and things are just going to work a lot more smoothly, a lot more quickly, and a lot more intuitively.